Ever since you were told you have herpes, telling someone has probably become the scariest conversation you can ever imagine. You treat it like you're about to be exposed, rejected, or seen as less than. And then you go into it nervous and guarded, waiting to find out if you're still wanted. I did this all the time, so if you're feeling this way, I totally get it. But what if I told you that having the conversation was never about you at all? The moment is not about whether you're good enough. It's actually about the person you're sharing your diagnosis with. And the second you tell someone, all the guessing stops, and you finally see them for exactly who they are. So today, I'm going to show you why telling someone can be one of the most defining moments you'll go through. What a person's reaction actually reveals about them and not about you, and what changes the moment you stop seeing this as something that takes something away from you and start seeing it as the clearest truth teller you'll ever have. Hi, I'm Dupree, and I help people to navigate life with herpes. And I want you to hear me out for a second, because once you start seeing this moment for what it really is, you'll never walk into having the conversation the same way again. But before I get into that, I want to tell you what happened when I first started telling people about my diagnosis. You see, when the moment came that I'd have to tell someone, I'd get so nervous that the person sitting across from me could totally tell that something was up. My energy would completely change so much that they'd ask me, "Is something wrong?" I mean, it was totally obvious that I had something that I wanted to say and that I was really scared to say it. Then I could feel the blood rush into my face and I'd feel so sick to my stomach because I had been told no so many times that I figured the next time wouldn't be any different. Now, I have to admit, a lot of people got really weirded out or went quiet and either did the slow fade or ghosted me after I told them. And then there were others who were kind and compassionate. That said, I learned a lot about myself when it comes to telling people about my condition. But what I didn't see coming was how it also revealed the type of person someone really is. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that in a minute. But before I do, if you are tired of feeling like you're alone in this, come join us at Herpes Wellness. It's a private community where you can get support from people who actually get it, who don't judge it, and who can help you to navigate your condition so that you can start living the life that you want. So come check us out at herpeswellness.com. The link is in the description. Now, when it comes to telling someone, it can feel like you're asking for some sort of permission. Permission to be liked, permission to still be wanted, and permission to still be seen the way you were before. But what I want you to understand is that even though it can feel that way, the only thing that's happening is that you're providing someone with a piece of information, and what they choose to do with that information tells you everything. Some people get curious and want to know more. They'll ask questions and they don't really make a big deal out of it, right? Others get super uncomfortable, go quiet, or start pulling away. And the way they react isn't a reflection of you or your worth. It is, however, a reflection of how that person handles honesty, discomfort, and something they weren't expecting to hear. When you tell someone you have herpes, all you're doing is being honest and upfront about your condition. You're telling them something they didn't see coming, and now you get to watch how they deal with it. Someone who can stay calm and present in that moment is someone who can handle real, honest conversations. Someone who freaks out or pulls away is showing you their limit. And that limit was there long before you even opened your mouth. There's a quote I love from poet and author Maya Angelou, who spent her whole life writing about human nature and how people treat one another. She has so many quotes, some of which I've shared on this podcast. But one of my favorites is the one where she says, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them." And that's exactly what's happening when you tell someone you have herpes. The person sitting across from you is showing you who they are, and your only job is to pay attention and to believe it. Because telling someone is never a test of whether you're good enough. It's actually information you get to use. And once you see it that way, the whole thing stops feeling like you're asking for permission and starts feeling like you're the one finding out what you need to know. Now, let's talk about how this works with dating, because this is usually where telling someone feels the scariest. It can feel like everything is riding on how that person responds. And I'll be honest with you, this was one of the toughest things for me to feel comfortable with. When I told people I was dating who didn't have herpes, most of them either started treating me differently right afterwards or ghosted me completely once the date ended. But you know what? Over time, the more people I told, the more I realized those moments were showing me exactly who they were. Now, here's what I really want you to understand. Someone saying no doesn't make them a bad person. Some people just aren't comfortable dating someone with herpes, and that's totally okay, and that's their choice. But a no is not really the thing that tells you who someone is. It's how they treat you when they say it. That's the part that tells you everything. Because someone can still say no and still be kind, honest, and respectful to you in the moment. And someone can say no, then get all weird, go cold, or disappear on you completely. Now, a lot of people ghost you simply because they can't handle telling you the truth about how they feel about it. And while that's not an excuse, it's usually the reason. Either way, the way they handle the moment you tell them is what shows you who they really are. Even if you don't see them again, it's how they treated you when you told them that counts. Now, it didn't go badly with everyone. When it came time to tell my current boyfriend, I was terrified. But I met him as a friend first, and from day one, he was kind, compassionate, and caring. So when I finally told him, he didn't change or become someone else. He stayed the exact same person he'd always been. He didn't pull away, and he didn't treat me any differently. And as time went on, we started getting really close. Then he told me he wanted to be in a relationship with me, and he never once made me feel like my diagnosis was anything to worry about. Different reactions, same lesson. The people who walked away showed me who they were, and so did he. Telling him didn't change his character at all. It just confirmed what I'd seen in him all along. Now, when you think about telling someone, your mind probably goes straight to dating. But this conversation doesn't only matter with the people that you date. Your friends and family can bring up just as much fear and sometimes even more. And here's the reason. These are the people that have known you for years. They feel close enough to you to have an opinion, and a lot of them believe that they know what's best for you. So telling them can feel like a much bigger deal because these are the people whose opinions you actually care about. You're not just wondering what they think about your condition. You're also wondering where you'll now stand with the people who are supposed to be there for you. When you tell someone who's close to you, you not only hear their words, you feel their energy, their hesitation, or their love and warmth. You feel whether they're pulling back or pulling you closer. And sometimes you feel it most when they say nothing at all. Because this moment doesn't just show you who struggles to handle it. It shows you who loves and respects you exactly as you are, For 6 years, I kept my diagnosis secret from my friends and from my family. When people would ask me, how come you're not dating anyone? I'd make up excuses. I'd say things like, I'm happy being single, or I'm just focusing on my career. But the truth is, I was terrified to tell anyone. Then one day, I just got so sick and tired of carrying my secret around that I decided to confide in 2 of my friends. And to my surprise, I wasn't met with judgment at all. After that, I knew it was time to tell my mom because she kept wondering why I wasn't interested in dating. I'd been feeding her the same bullshit I was telling everyone else, but I couldn't stand lying to her anymore, so I finally told her. And for a second, she got really quiet. And in that moment, I braced myself to be criticized because parents always have something to say, right? But you know what? She never did that. She just gave me a huge hug and told me she loved me and totally understood why I didn't tell her sooner. And that's when it really hit me. Telling people didn't cost me the relationships I was so afraid of losing. It showed me who was truly in my corner the entire time. So yes, this conversation is not only the best way to find out who can't handle the real you, but it's also the best way to find out who can. And that turned out to be the people who mattered the most to me. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Telling someone you have herpes is never about handing over your worth to someone else. It's actually one of the most honest things you'll ever do, and it gives you something powerful in return. The truth. The truth about who can love you fully, who can stand beside you, and who gets to be a part of your life moving forward. The people who stay and treat you with care are showing you they're the real deal, and the people who walk away are simply making room for the ones that will stay. You don't have to convince anyone to stay. You don't have to make anyone comfortable. And you don't have to apologize to anyone about your condition. All you have to do is be honest and let people show you who they are. Because every time you have the conversation, you're not losing anything. You're actually gaining clarity. Clarity about who belongs in your life, and clarity about the kind of love and connection you actually deserve. And that clarity is what leads you straight to the right people. Well, that's it for today. Again, if you're tired of navigating your condition alone, come join us at Herpes Wellness. You can join for free and get instant access to our forums where you can ask questions, seek advice, and help other members along their journeys. You can sign up today at herpeswellness.com. The link is also in the description. If you want support on the go, then you can always download the Herpes Wellness app for free in both the App Store and in Google Play. If you're concerned about privacy, we've got you totally covered. The app icon and push notifications say H Wellness, so if someone happens to see your screen, you won't disclose your status unintentionally. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on audio, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also show us some love and give us a like or a hype as this helps other people to find this podcast. And if you like what you're hearing, or if there's something specific you would like for me to talk about on this show, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you the next time on the Herpes Wellness Podcast. Bye for now.